A very good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining us on Ogtv Midday News. I'm Shemilori Makonju. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has lauded the appointment of former Ogun State Governor Aremo Olusegun Oshoba as chairman of the Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of Journalism. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Kunle Shomorin, Governor Abiodun believes it as a true call to service and one suitable enough to be described as fixing a round peg in a round hole. Chief Oshoba, according to the governor, spent his most productive years as a respected member of the 4th Estate and established a reputation for diligent and responsible journalism. The statement notes that even when not in active practice, Chief Oshoba still sees himself first as a reporter before anything else, while still mentoring younger professionals with an enviable record of being a decorated administrator, statesman, and boardroom gun. Governor Abiodun further believes that with the appointment of Chief Olusegun Oshoba, he has no reservations in his leadership capabilities to reposition the Nigerian Institute of Journalism and by extension journalism training and practice. Chief Olusegun Oshoba, who will be assisted by Mr. Ray Ekwu as his deputy, returning to the NIJ Governing Council chair, a position he occupied 30 years ago. He also has, to his credit, a known as media manager who successfully managed 3 national dailies as managing director before his foray in politics. The fight against the coronavirus COVID-19 in Nigeria appears to be yielding positive results as the country steadily reports high figures of recovered cases. As of 11:26 p.m. on Wednesday, the number crossed the 40,000 mark after 317 more people were successfully treated and discharged from various isolation centers in the country. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) announced the figure in a late-night tweet on Wednesday while giving an update on the pandemic. This brings the total number of recovered cases in Nigeria to 40,281, representing almost 76% of the total number of confirmed infections, put at 53,021. The figure of confirmed cases rose on Wednesday after authorities in various states reported 221 fresh infections in the last 24 hours. This is apparently the lowest number of cases recorded in the country in about 3 months. On August 4, the country reported 288 COVID-19 infections and 290 new cases just 1 week later, while another low figure of 252 was recorded on Tuesday, August 25. The latest cases were reported from 18 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, with Plateau having 60, the highest. Others are FCT 33, Kaduna 26, Rivers 18, Lagos 17, Enugu, Kwara, and Ondo recording 9 each, Nasarawa 6, Gombe and Anambra 5, Delta 4, Abia 4, Imo 3, while Edo, Ogun, Oyo, and Osun all reported 2 each, with Bauchi and Kano recording 1 new cases. 3 deaths were also recorded, bringing the nation's death toll from the disease to 1,010. This comes ahead of the resumption of international flight operation scheduled for August 29. According to the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, the process for the resumption of international flights in the country would be similar to that of the domestic flights resumption. The collaboration between the Ogun State government and the United Nations Population Fund (UNFPA) is one that the current administration in the state is committed to, as it will improve the welfare and well-being of the people. The state governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, made this submission when he played host to the new country representative of the United Nations Population Fund, Ms. Ula Mula, in his office. Government Service correspondent Tony Olaniro reports.
The United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, helps in reducing maternal mortality, empower youths, tackle gender inequality, population management, HIV prevention, among others. The organization now has a new country representative in Nigeria. She is Ula Mula.
I would also like to reiterate our continued support for the provision of personal protective equipment to healthcare workers, as well as to implementing staff under our programs, knowing that the safety and security of frontline healthcare workers is critical in this time and age, regardless of what health services you are looking for.
The Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dr. Abiodun, says UNFPA remains a dependable ally in the successful implementation of the Building Our Future Together agenda and the sustainable development of the state.
It is noteworthy that in the last 5 years, the state government had not contributed, their own counterpart funding to UNFPA. This administration, in line with our priorities, we saw the need to strengthen our partnership with you, and we immediately resolved that we'll begin to put things right, and explains why we made the first tranche of our counterpart funding to you. But it is noteworthy that despite the fact that counterpart funding was not forthcoming, UNFPA remained, a dependable and committed ally to the state.
Part of the strategy of the current administration, according to the governor, is to explore every legitimate avenue, including viable partnership with genuine individual and corporate bodies for the realization of its objectives.
We domesticated the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, VAP. And I want to assure you that work is underway to develop a state action plan and its framework. We ensured a lot of female participation in government and government process. We're strengthening the SGBV response, the sex and gender-based violence response network in our state. We provided hotlines for informational response to the sex and gender-based violence response. We established a sexual assault referral center, and we are providing a lot of support for our health sector. We continue to strengthen our health facilities, paying attention to primary health care. We are currently rehabilitating primary health care centers across the length and breadth of the state.
UNFPA has continued to support the state technically and financially, which has reduced maternal mortality and built the capacity of youths in the state. Tunde Olaniro, Ogtv News.
Ogun State House of Assembly has donated 26 units of locally fabricated 4-point mechanized hand-washing machines by the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro to schools, health and religious centers across the 26 state constituencies, with a charge on them to further ensure strict adherence to other preventive measures as part of its efforts to stem the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic in the state. The hand-washing machines were handed over to the beneficiaries, including public school administrators, market leaders and community health care centers at the Assembly Complex, Okemoson, Abeokuta. House of Assembly correspondent Kolawole Osho covered the event and his report is presented in this package.
The state lawmakers in the Niger legislature remained part of their contributions to complement the efforts of government and other stakeholders at promoting safety practices among the people, especially through hand washing as a way of life, with a view to curtailing community transmission of the pandemic. Speaker Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo noted that the gesture was a further demonstration of the lawmakers' responsiveness to the people over the hardship occasioned by the pandemic in order to promote hygienic practice, which remained one of the major safety protocols for managing the COVID-19 pandemic.
The House thought it necessary, we deem it fit, to support the community with the little we can. And that is why we came up with the idea of a 4-in-1 hand washing machine. What I'm saying in essence is that the machine you are looking at has a capacity for 4 people to use it at a single time in 4 corners of the machine. And it's been programmed in a way that the water consumption for 1,000 people.
Earlier in his welcome address, Chairman, House Committee on Health, who is a member representing Yewa North 1 State constituency, Honorable Adeyoju Adegoke, noted was aimed at ensuring safety of the people, noting that social-economic development could only be achieved in an hygienic environment.
It's important to note that there cannot be any meaningful socio-economic development without neat and safe environments. The 9th Assembly will continue to do everything possible within the legislative ambit to ensure the safety of the lives and property of the people of our dear states.
Responding, some of the beneficiaries appreciated the lawmakers for the donation, adding that such remained a rare sacrifice and show of selfless service to humanity by members of the 9th legislature in the state.
President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered operators in the power sector to carry out mass metering of unmetered customers nationwide. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has announced. The NEC, via a tweet on its official Twitter handle, declared that it had not approved any increase in electricity tariffs as reported in some quarters. The Commission said the President has directed that there should be a nationwide mass metering program in an effort by the federal government to put a stop to estimated and arbitrary billing for electricity. President Buhari has also approved a waiver of the import levy on meters so that those without meters can be supplied as early as possible.